guys, welcome back to another video and welcome back to episode 4 of the Monoposto driver career mode. If you guys are enjoying the series, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, but without further ado, let's get into episode 4. So looking at the driver standings from the last race, Sergio Perez still on top, followed closely by Carlos Sainz, and for the Constructors' Championship, it's Red Bull once again on top. But without further ado, let's get straight into qualifying here for the USA Grand Prix. So it's a bit of a tricky situation for us now. We really need to perform in this qualifying session and this race. We need to do the best we can. We've been getting beaten pretty consistently by our teammates, so yeah, we just need to make sure no mistakes, do the best that we can in this session.
Mate, no power, no power.
Yeah. Mode 1.
Mate, really?
And I've completely just jinxed myself there. Completely out of the blue, we've had an engine failure before qualifying has even begun. So we're going to have to pull our car over now onto the side, and that means we aren't going to be able to set a lap time, and we're going to start the race last for the second time in a row due to circumstances that are completely out of our control. What a terrible way to start this weekend. We've got some work to do start at the back. So now getting into the race, obviously no qualifying because of the engine failure. We decided to start on the softs to go for a pretty aggressive strategy for the start of the race. We really do need to make up as many places as we can for the start phase of this race. Get as close to the top 10 as we can for any chance of getting some points today. But the far red lights are out. And his lights out and away we go. Nick De Vries on the hard tyres gets a pretty decent start, but we're following him closely behind. We aren't going to take any risks into turn 1. We're going to take it nice and steady. The field has been congested a little bit and there's an opening now ahead of Yuki Tsunoda for us to get past. We've really taken advantage now of the soft tyres. We make contact with Oscar Piastri. We pass our teammate Valtteri Bottas, and we're having a look now at Alex Albon and Esteban Ocon. We really are making the soft tyres work here. We need to have our elbows out. We need to take any opportunity that we can have to get as high as we can before the pit stops come around to have any chance of going into the points. We're now trying to slipstream Pierre Gasly down the main straight, but our engine really isn't that much of a match for the Alpine engine. You can see Esteban Ocon behind us now trying to make a move, but we keep the door closed. We're not going to let him through that easily. We need to get we need to follow these cars closely. We need to make sure that they can't pull away from us to make sure that we can stay with them and have any chance of scoring points today. Points would be great for us today. We really do need points. As I was saying, the start of the season, the first 3 races haven't been good for us at all. DNF, and DNF. I think it was 3 DNFs in a row. So yeah, we really need to step up our game here. But as we're now trying to make a move on Logan Sargent, and we just don't have enough downforce to follow him through that corner there. As we now have the Alpine of Pierre Gasly very close on our tail now. We may be under pressure from him in the next few corners. As we can see the proximity here, we're getting closer and closer. He's nearly 4 times behind us. He's getting closer and closer every corner. We're now trying to follow Logan Sargent to get close to him before Pierre Gasly can close up to us, and Sargent has a little bit of a moment there coming onto the main straight. We're going to try and get past him. We have got past. We have DRS nailed, but we can try and make a move down the inside on Alex Albon, the 2 Williams drivers, keeping us at bay for the moment. But as long as we can stay behind these drivers, keep it clean, another opportunity should come for us to take P10 and even possibly P9. I've now gone a little bit deep into that corner there. We've dipped the wheel into the grass. That's going to make Pierre Gasly start rubbing his hands, looking for an opportunity to get past us. The 2 Williams are now going wheel to wheel. That's probably not really what they want to be doing. They've had a pretty bad exit coming out of the final corner. We're gaining them now with using that ERS and some ERS and some DRS. So we still can't get past Logan Sargent coming out of the first corner. Pierre Gasly now getting extremely close, so we need to try to cover the inside. We aren't going to let him pass that easily. We need to really put up a fight here, as we can see that we're losing a lot of ground to the cars in front. We've nearly dropped around a second from Logan Sargent and Alex Albon in P10, which realistically is where we want to be this race. We nearly went wide coming out of our corner again, and as we can see ahead of us, Logan Sargent, Alex Albon and another car, it looks like an AlphaTauri, are going in a 3-way battle. So hopefully if one of them can make a mistake, there'll be an opportunity for us to pounce and take those points back. As we're now enabling DRS, following the Williams of Alex Albon, we really aren't able to stay with him through some of the low speed corners before the high speed corners. The extra downforce of our car is where we are able to creep back in and take the gap down of the Williams driver. Valtteri Bottas on the medium tyres has just gotten past Pierre Gasly, but yes, he is on the medium tyres as I just mentioned there, so we are on a different strategy. So if he is close enough to us, as our tyres are pretty dead, we might need to move over and let our teammate pass. But Sergio Perez on the mediums with the fastest lap has just come out of the pit. It's not really an issue for us to be racing the Red Bull. We aren't anywhere near him. We aren't racing them. There is no point, so we're just going to let him go. No point taking any risks, trying to overtake him and risk getting crashed out. So we're just going to continue with our own race. Valtteri Bottas, our teammate, has just been overtaken by Lando Norris, and he is closing down the gap to us now on the main straight. The Mercedes engine, probably one of the best engines on the grid right now. As we're just holding our own now in P9, would be a great way to finish the race. So it's just about now, from now until the end of the race, keeping ourselves clean, making sure we don't make any silly mistakes, spin, get into any contact with any other drivers, and just bring the car home, as the tyres are really starting to fall off now. This is where we are going to be coming in this lap, and probably I think the best tyres to go on would be the hard tyres. If the softs are only lasting 4 laps, I can't imagine the mediums lasting much longer. So yes, we're going to go for a conservative strategy today, and we're going to go onto the hard tyres. Lance Stroll ahead of us in the pit lane. We aren't able to get past him in the pit lane. Nick De Vries coming out now, and Alex Albon. 2 cars in between us and Lance Stroll, so that's really not what we would have wanted. We came out in between some traffic here, but Alex Albon and Nick De Vries both haven't pitted. We're trying to take a look around the outside of Alex Albon, gone into the dirty side of the track, but we've made contact with Alex Albon, and you've lost half our front wing. For the 3rd race in a row, we've made contact with another driver, and we find ourselves with half a front wing in a pretty badly damaged car. We're trying to follow Nick De Vries now. This really isn't going to help us in our hunt for points today. The missing downforce is going to make us prone to overtaking. As we can see, Yuki Tsunoda now behind us on the hard tyres. So how long is it going to be before he can catch up to us? We're just trying to keep with his teammate Nick De Vries in the AlphaTauri on our fresh hard tyres. I can imagine now we're going to be coming in for another pit stop at around lap 10 time. Another set of hards or mediums, then go to the end of the race, where we've got a really good exit out of the final corner there. We're going wheel to wheel with Nick De Vries. We banged wheels a little bit, but we've just managed to pull off that move. Nick De Vries looks like he will be coming into the pits now, and yes, he has. So is our teammate Valtteri Bottas, and he's gone on to another set of mediums, so he'll have to pit again, committing to a 2-stop there, as he have to use 2 compounds in the race. As we're now going onto the grass there, that's really not what we need to be doing. We didn't have enough downforce to make it through that corner. Our missing front wing really adding to our struggles. We managed to get back onto the track, get our tyres cleaned up without any spinning or any shenanigans, but we've lost a lot of time to the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton ahead of us. The gap is around 4 seconds now. We've got a lot of time to make up, but that mistake has also had Yuki Tsunoda, who was around 5 seconds behind a few laps ago, to close up to us. He's almost half that gap. He's now 2.5 seconds behind us. So we've really got to be defending as much as we're trying to attack Lewis Hamilton here, as the gap is around 4 seconds on Hamilton now. Bottas has just overtaken Tsunoda, which is good for us, for the Alfa Romeo team. Only one of us scoring points at the moment, which would be me, but it would be good if we can get both cars on the points today and get some decent points for the team, as we are currently pretty low down in the constructor standings, lower than where we want to be. So this really is a make or break race for us today. We really need to cement our performance today, cement our role in the team, and make sure that we're confident that we can get a seat here next season. We don't really need any more crashes, strategy mistakes throughout the season. We just need to be consistent over the last this race, and then the next 2 races at Brazil and Abu Dhabi. But as we are saying that, we've closed down the gap a little bit to Lewis Hamilton. The gap is around 3 seconds now, which there was 4 on the last lap. Valtteri Bottas is pulling away from Yuki Tsunoda. It's around 2 seconds from us to him. He's on the medium tyres, as you can see, so we may have to move over and let him go through, as he will be faster on the fastest strategy and the faster tyres. As we can see, our hard tyres has a line of wear going through the 2 front tyres, so we already are starting to feel some effects of tyre wear already, even on the hard tyres. So we definitely will be doing a 2-stop today. The tyre degradation at this track really is a killer, as we're now getting very close to Lewis Hamilton. We're in the magic 1 second, and we now have the help of DRS. We have a full tank of ERS to play with as well, so we're going to deploy some of that now, and also on the main straight as well. We're following the Mercedes driver, the 7-time world champion. These are the types of cars that we do need to be racing here. Mercedes, McLaren, Williams, Aston Martin, around the midfield teams is where we need to be targeting. So we are racing Lewis Hamilton, and we do need to make sure that we can stay with him and get this move done, as he's going wheel to wheel now with Alex Albon. These 2 drivers hopefully maybe could make a mistake, which will allow us an opportunity to close up and hopefully take 2 cars in one, as they're still going wheel to wheel now through the slow corner, coming up the slow double left-hander. So we really are just sitting back watching them fight, but we are pulling some time from our teammate now, even though we are on harder 1 tyres. The last lap was around 1.2 seconds, and now it's around 2.2. So we have pulled 1 second on our teammate, so it doesn't look like we're going to be moving over for him anytime soon. It's Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon all coming to the pit lane now. So getting extremely close to Lewis Hamilton. We tried to make a move around the outside there, but we're just going to stay back, use the DRS and the ERS, and make a safer move. We don't need to take any risks with Hamilton here, as we go and try to find some more grip around the outside. He just closes the door on us there, but we've managed to peek our nose back on the outside, and we've made the move on the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, but we locked up a little bit going into the corner, and then that's going to harm our exit coming onto the straight now. The Mercedes engine definitely a lot more powerful than ours, and we're looking in our rear mirrors now to see how close he is on this straight. We deployed quite a bit of our ERS to stay ahead of him. He's trying to find a way. We're going to defend the inside there. He looks like he made a little bit of contact with us there. As we locked up, we've gone a little bit wide, and he's sent his car down the inside of us. He's pushed us onto the grass a little bit, but we aren't going to give up this fight, and we're going to save some of our ERS for the same time in the next lap, and hopefully try and make a counter move on him. But that time where he sent us onto the grass has left us vulnerable to land short. We just try and make a move on the outside of us there, but we've stuck our ground, and we will be coming into the pits this lap alongside Lewis Hamilton. We're going to be going on to another set of hard tyres, so really it's a battle of the pit crew between ourselves and Hamilton. We have got a little bit closer to Hamilton, so decent job by our pit crews. Alex Albon's come out of the pit lane and they've crashed. Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton, I don't even know what on earth happened there. The virtual safety car is out, and that was a terrible crash between Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pit lane, obviously going a lot slower than Albon racing at full speed, and I guess the two just didn't see each other, and they've completely smashed into the side of each other. Albon's still racing, but I can imagine with some very severe damage. Hamilton unfortunately out of the race, but fortunately for us, that has promoted us one more place, and we now sit in P8 ahead of Alex Albon and behind Lance Stroll by around 7 seconds. So we do have some work to do if we want to claw back that time and finish potentially higher than P8, but I will be pretty happy with P8. We are ahead of our teammate, which is obviously a direct comparison to anyone pace-wise, as we're both in the same car. But Valtteri Bottas, our teammate, has just switched onto the hard tyres now, and he currently sits in P10. So P8 and P10 for Alfa Romeo has 5 points with us, 5 points are going to help us in the Constructors' Championship, so hopefully we can keep our noses clean and come back with a decent amount of points here. Valtteri Bottas moves up to P9 as Nick De Vries is coming to the pits, as George Russell has just fitted a new set of hard tyres. His tyres are going to be around 1 lap younger than ours, but we are close to him, and we have got the DRS as we are within 1 second of him. So hopefully, we've already made one move on the other Mercedes before he got taken out of a race. So we know that we do have decent pace stacked up against the Mercedes, so we're going to stick with him now, try to sit behind him in the slipstream, pick out opportunities, chip away at a time, and then hopefully make a move for P7 on George Russell, as yes, we do know that we can race the Mercedes. We are pretty close on pace with him. With pulling away from our teammate company, so I can see that he has an AlphaTauri behind him, so hopefully he can hang on to that P9, which would be some good points for us. P2, sorry, not P2, 2 points and 4 points, so 6 points in total for the team. As Fernando Alonso comes into the pits now for the final time of this race, going onto the soft tyres as he drops down to P4 behind his teammate Lance Stroll. We've now got DRS once again on George Russell. We're just trying to follow him and pick our best opportunity here, which will probably be on the main straight, so we need to deploy some ERS now to stay within that 1 second, but also make sure that we can save a decent amount for our main straight, and then we can deploy as much as we need to try and get past the Mercedes driver, as we've gained quite a bit of time now coming out of our fast right-hander. We need to get a good exit onto the main straight, and we have got DRS and ERS to play with. We're going to sit behind the Mercedes now, using all of our straight line speed and the tools to help us, but we haven't got enough momentum so far. But we have closed our gap down now to around half a second, and we're just going to follow the Mercedes and pick our best opportunity to overtake him. But this is definitely a better turn of luck for us. The past 3 races we've been taken out by our teammate. In Bahrain we forgot to pit, and in Hungary we just had a general pretty horrible strategy, but we've got a really good exit coming out the final corner now, as he's passed George Russell now for P7, and Lance Stroll has came into the pits, and we're now in P6. George Russell has came out ahead of Lance Stroll, which is good, which means that he's not going to be able to utilise those soft tyres, as he's now even stuck behind Alex Albon. We're trying to deploy our ERS now. We've gone a little bit wide there. George Russell hasn't been able to stick a nose into us there, and we're now in P6, which will be our best finish in our Formula 1 career, which will be an amazing haul of points for us. That is 8 points to our name, which would even put us ahead of our teammate who scored points, I think, in 2 or 3 races this season. So even from us scoring points in 1 race, we will be ahead of our teammate, and this is really where the team needs to be, around in the top 6, top 8. And we're definitely exceeding expectations with this finish, so we just need to make sure that we can keep ourselves clean and bring the car home in what would be a brilliant P6. We've got George Russell now behind us, 2/10 of a second. We've got 1 more lap left. We're going to hang it around easy for the final corner, make sure that we get a good exit using all our ERS. We're going to override our ERS deployment. We're going to dump the whole battery for this lap. Carlos Sainz is ahead of us. I'm not really concerned about passing the Ferrari now. It's just about keeping the Mercedes behind us of George Russell, keeping him behind us. The gap around now 1.2 seconds. Alex Albon on the medium tyres has actually overtaken George Russell, which is good for us. We're not really racing Albon today, but he will, yeah, put some extra pressure on George Russell as there's an extra car between us now, as we just did lock up there a little bit, and that's lost us some time now to Alex Albon, who is obviously using the Mercedes engine, one of the best engines on the grid right now. We're going to sit on the main straight, use as much ERS as we can to keep the Williams driver behind us. Is he going to have a look? We've gone a little bit wide there, and on the medium tyres, the younger tyres, the faster tyres, he's been able to pass us for P6. We're not going to give this up though. We have DRSs. He just looks like he has so much more grip than we do. We really can't do anything about that, but we do know that the AI are bad coming out of his final corner. We need to utilise everything that we have. As I was saying, he's had a bad exit coming out of a corner, and we've taken P6 back, and this will be an amazing finish for us. P6 at the United States Grand Prix.
Points, buddy, points. You did it. You did it. Well done, well done, amazing. Look at that racing at the end too, absolutely brilliant.
What a race by us today, but another great race by our championship leader, Sergio Perez, who takes the win and the fastest lap here at the United States Grand Prix. Great race.
Oh guys! This is us! Come on!
Taking a look now at the driver standings, Sergio Perez nearly 20 points ahead of Carlos Sainz after his dominance today, and for us, Alfa Romeo P6. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.